Hi, I just want to make a quick video here about circle of fourths. Every so often I'm going to make a mistake and say fifths when I mean fourths. What I mean here is that 5 frets is a fourth on a guitar. And so sometimes I talk about 5 and I mean 5 frets, and a fourth is an interval. So let's start on this bass guitar here, 5 string, and it's a normal B, D, A, D, G. So B, E, A, D, G. And if we start on the C, which will be the middle of the third along, 3rd string, 3rd fret. So normally you play your scale major scale. Now when you want to go to the next fourth, an interval of 5 frets, that's the same as just moving down 1 string. So from the, I'll try and make it as obvious as I can, from this, get my fingers out, from this string here, moving down 1 string. But that's the same if we use it on the fret list, going up 5 frets. So 3 goes to 8. Right. Then from the 8 you add on 5 again. 8 plus 5 is 13, yeah? So that was it. But on the 8th we could have just gone up a string. So those are the same, yeah? 13 and the 8 on the other string, because it's adding 5 each time. Now we add 5 on again, the 13 would become 18, but we modulo on the 12, in other words, like clock arithmetic. So 18 o'clock is the same as 6. So we go on the same string, we get to 6. Now, if we go back to the 13, the next string above, you see, takes the same relative pitch. Now, where are we on here? We're currently on the 6 rather. So the 6 plus 5 would be 11. 11 is 1 before 12. 12 is the double dot. Double dot is there, so 11 would be there. Then we add on 5 again. Well, bear with me. 11 is 1 less than a 12, so we're going to add on 4 when we do the modulo. So we come to the 4, which is 1 to the right of a 3. So as you look down your dot board, or even on the front of the dots, it's got to be the 1 to the right of the third. So this is the 4. You add on 4 again. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is another dotted, it's the last one before the 12. 9 plus 5 is going to take you to the 12 is 3 and 2 more, so go back to the 2. Here, Brother the Kid explains you do a little sort of twist of your hand. Now 2 plus 5 is 7, again another dot. 7 plus 5 is 12, that's the double dot. So then from the 12, add on 5, modulo 12 is 5. 5 is a dot, it's the 1 to the right dot, the dot to the right of the first dot. And 5 plus 5 is 10, well that's 1 more than 9. Plus 5 again, well 2 takes you to the 12, so 3 brings you back to the 3rd. Oh. So now you've gone round full cycle. You've gone up the full cycle of fourths, 5 frets at a time, and you've gone 3, 8, 13, 13, 6, 11, 11 plus 5 is 4, 9. So you're going around the cycle. Now, what we've said again is that each string, when you move, so when you move from any given fret and move to the next string going down, you're adding on 5. If you go the other way, you're taking away 5. And the beauty of a music scale is there are 12 notes in it. So what that means is that an octave 12 is 2 5s and a 2. So at any given point, move along 2 strings, so down 2 strings and along 2 frets. You got an octave, assuming your strings are in tune and you can hit the frets on the fretless, yeah? So why do I keep going on about this? Well, look, let's start off with the basic bass open string. It's a B. Now we move to an E. Then we move to an A, D, G. So B, E, A, D, G. Oh, we've run out of stuff. Well, some of you will know that in front of the G, which is the 3rd fret of the E string, to E, F, F sharp, G, directly in front of it is the C. So how do we find an octave below it? Well, like we said, it's 12 less. That's the same as going down 2 strings and back 2 frets. But that's taking us to here. So let's just recap. I'll go going a bit fast, but it should make sense. This G, so that G and that string, so this G note here and this open string are related. And we wanted to find the next open string from the G if it was there. Well, we know that this note and the open string are the same, so that's the next one, at least in sort of note terms. Well, it's here. Well, the next one will be in front of it. The next one will be in front of that. And what we've done, we started on this open string here, and we moved down string at a time, adding on 5 frets effectively, 1/4. So we've got the first 4th is here, the B, then the E, then the A, then the D, then the G. We worked backwards and found out the C is the next fret up. And we know by definition the 5th's carrying on up. And the same thing happens with the 5 strings, magic. So when you get to this sort of A sharp, G is A flat, G sharp, the next one's here. And then you get to here. And when you're at this 2nd fret of the E string, which is what, F sharp. No, it can't be F sharp. What am I talking about? E, F. Is F sharp. So, yeah, cool. I'm being an idiot. I've got to go 1/4 from the F sharp. So that is back 2. So just to recap, we start here. B, E, A, D, G. So B, A, D, G. Then we go to C, and the next one, of course, this was an E, so this is E sharp, doesn't exist, that's F. After the F, we've got, this was A, so this is A sharp or B flat. But once you get to a B flat, we already know that the first one was B, so the next one must be E flat. And because that was E, the next one was A, that must be A flat, yeah? And now we go up to here, that must be D flat, which it is, yeah, because we've gone from B, C, C sharp, D flat. So the next one up, instead of D flat, must be G flat or F sharp. And the next one from a G is a C, so this is C flat, which is B, yeah, and so forth. So B becomes E, so this must be an E, and it is. Well, if it's an E, this must be an A, and it is. If this is an A, the next one up the sequence is D, and that's that really lovely low D, yeah, and we can tell that by checking the first string. So the next one up from a D has to be a G, and from a G it has to be a C, from a C it has to be an F. F goes to B flat, and so by definition, if that's a B flat, just sliding along will be a B, so that should be the same as a lower string, and it is. We've got a range there. So now what I'm trying to say is that this whole circle of fifths, as long as you can remember the B, E, A, D, G, and the next one is F, and you can do a bit of manipulation with sometimes a B sharp is a C, so you need to do a bit of manipulation with that. Then what I'm boiling down to is that you pretty much remember those 5 strings, and then you can work out the sequence going up, and you can almost do this real time. So again, if you're at a place here, so this will be an A. If you want to go to a D, you move up, because you know that B, E, A, D, right? B, E, A, D, G. So you're on the A, the one above is the D. But by the same token gesture, once you got the D, going back 2 and back 2 strings and back 2 will also be a D. So if you're playing, you can decide to go up to a D or down. So you've got the octave trick, and what's actually happening is one's going up a fifth, so one's going up a fourth, the other one's going back a fifth. So the interval between a fifth and a fourth added together is an octave. So what I'm trying to say is you need to learn the B, E, A, D, G. Well, this is therefore B sharp. B sharp is C, yeah? If it was E, is E sharp. E sharp is F. A is A sharp, which is the same as B flat. But once you've got the B flat, the next one has to be E flat. After E flat has to be A flat. And hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying here. So by learning the open strings of the 5th string on one extension from the G to the C, you can map the fingerboard going in this direction, and then up 1 and up 1 and up 1. And now you just got to imagine that you've taken, to use this number line, let me turn this down, you've just got to imagine you've taken your number line here, and each time you have a 5, an octave, it's like you're adding it on here. So we did this earlier when we went around a circle of fifths, fourths rather. We started on the C, we moved up 5 to the 8th. Now, we already know it's an F now. So we can either think of it as a number or, oh, it's an F because it's 5 more. Well, if that's an F, going down 2 strings and back is also an F. So let's just turn up a little bit. So it is also an F, yeah? But directly behind an F is a C. Well, the C's up here. If I add 2 and I get a D, that should be the same as an open string. But I can take away 5 and move up a string. Oops. I can take away 2 and go along 2. I can go along 2 and up 2. So now you begin to realise that at certain pivot points, and when you play music it tends to be in fourths anyway, and to me this unlocked the fingerboard, because all of a sudden I'm here, I want to go up a fifth, well a fourth, I just move up the string, yeah? I want to go back a fifth, I go down and along 1. So down 1 along 1 is back a fifth, and along 2 and up 2 will be an octave. And you get used to certain friends. You're playing a G, you want to play a C, it's directly in front, but it's also a 5 along. So you've got a choice, or you can go up an octave here. So I mean, just play with the idea if you haven't done it before on a 5 string, but the 5 string to me is the most natural, logically grouped set of notes, because when you're practicing and you're noodling, if you're stuck, you just go forward a string and then you find out where it is. So by definition, one of that is going to be 6, and after a while the numbers just take care of themselves. I mean, I'm a mathematician, I love numbers, and I hope I didn't make this too complicated, but as long as you can work out how a clock works, so 12 is your magic number, then, and by definition 15 is 12 minus 3. So let's start here. If I go up 3 strings and back 3, it has to be another octave, yeah? In fact, I think it's 2 octaves, yeah? So I got where I am here, a long 2 up 2, or a long 3 back 3. By definition, the next one up instead of 12 would be what, 24, Let's do the math. 24 is 25, take away 1. Well, that's 5. I've run out of strings. That would be 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So I've got to move up 4. I can't stretch. Oh. Maybe having a fret will make more sense then, but that's the stretch there. 24, so it's 5 times 4 plus 4, yeah? And that makes the stretch. Now, if you're on a string here, adding 5 on, 7 and 5 is 12, so there's a natural relationship that is 7 back here to get the same 1. So because this is already adding on the 5, yeah? So just play around with the number side of it, and eventually, I swear to you, everything will become clear. Practice your circle of fourths. So get myself in the right position here. Just practice those, and that will get you on a fretted. At least if you're on a fretted, if you put your fingers up the fret lines pretty much against the fret, you'll get used to the stretch, and then when you move to fretless, it will be so much easier because you've learnt the muscle memory. You can then do it in the dark because it's just a slide. And if you're stuck at where the next one is, just play the. So I want to get to that. There, you see. So that gives me the hint as to where the next. No. You see what I'm doing? I'm sort of. And after a while, the stretch and the slide, I mean, on these nylon strings are beautiful, nylon coated strings, but the slide becomes easy, or easier, and you begin just to see that at any one point, 2 and 2 is the octave, 3 and minus 3 is the other octave, and then 2 up and up on string along 2 is a fifth. So you get to see that I've got, if you're being lazy with chords, you know, first, 4th, 5th, but you can come back to get the 5th. So there's just these beautiful patterns that on a 5 string become so much easier. And I've done the math, it only works on the 5 string. The 4th string is good, and I like the 4th string, but when I'm playing a 4th string, I often find I'm at the D. I want to play this up here, which is the E. So I'm on an A and I want to play the E. But of course it's also down here. So just because I'm on the A, E, A, D, I know that directly underneath it is the E. So I can either have the open string, and the open string is good on fretless because it gives you a reference point, but I can just go backwards and get the E. Now if the E is there, then the next one is going to be the F, yeah? And in front of an F is a B sharp, B flat rather. So if you know, from an A along is 2 is a B, and this is here you got that really nice low, so you low B, so you can start on your C sharp. Now why do I know this is C sharp here? Because I know that the C is the 8. Why do I know the C is the 8? Because I know that the third is the C, and if I go down a string I've got to move along 5 to compensate. So I know automatically that this and this are the same note, and one along is the sharp. So a lot of the church hymns we play, you know, they have this sort of, they like to move along the sort of, what is it, the B, C sharp, and off the A. And, you know, I'm already there, or I can move up this way. So I've got the B, A, B, C sharp, but I can also play it that way, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, that should 4 rather, so that's the same as going back 1 to make the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, moving down would be a 5, going back 1 is the 4. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just doing relative positioning. I'm on my note here, 4 along from the A is a C sharp, but it's the same as going along a 1 string, down a string and back 1. Or I can go from this one up to here. Now then you can do these little slides. So again, you're playing a note, you're just moving up to the 4th, slide along to the 5th, and go back up to the octaves. You might want to mute the strings as you do. So I just found that, again, the 5 string became natural. Once I got a 5 string, not only did I have that really low note where I can make people's teeth fillings fall out, but suddenly my math brain just saw, ah, wait a minute, that missing string makes all the difference, because it just moves up in sequence. There's all the fifths, the fourths rather, 5 frets, the fifths going up. And again, once you've learned, you've got to learn the 5 for your strings anyway. When you shift along, they've become sharped, and sometimes you have to therefore make it the next one up flatted. And you remember 1 extra 1, which is the G going to the C. And then all the 12 notes of the circle of, I mean, it's just an octave, it's just a scale, but all the 12 notes of the circle of fourths becomes immediate. And once you can do the circle of fourths, going backwards along a string and back to is the circle of fifths. And that's why I started to play violin recently, because I realized a violin is a fretless bass in reverse. Yeah. So anyway, I'll stop there, but hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying, and if it didn't, I'm sorry I troubled you. But I found this to be really nice, because when I'm playing, I can suddenly realize, like I said, I can just play a note. I want to go up, the octave is down there. So instead of playing that one, sometimes I can go lower for a bit of effect, and I don't have to think about it. I know I'm playing the same note, in this case an E. Why do I know it's an E? Because 1, it sounds like it, and 2, when I'm here, I'm at a 5. If I'm at a 5, I'm 1 up from the bass string. The bass string is a B, plus the next string up is an E, so that has to be an E if I've tuned it. And yeah, I'll stop rambling, but anyway, thanks for watching and cheers.